In the immediate short term, you can see we're clearly breaking out. We're clearly very bullish, right? We're clearly basically making higher highs and higher lows in an impulsive pattern. And we have yet to hit a terminal resistance or a significant resistance. So this is likely to continue, okay? That's immediate short term. But also, the really nice and comforting idea is going back on the daily time frame. Once we do hit that daily time frame, take profit, or $1 trillion mark rather, take profit, and then retrace down correctively to that 525-day resistance turn now support. We can expect that to happen relatively quickly for two reasons. Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is December 9th, 2023. And this is a quick altcoin update. Okay, very, very important update. Actually, the first, I guess, really important trading update that we've had in over a year, okay? And I'm going to explain why, guys. If that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Obviously, as always, we're going to go into Bitcoin and recap what Bitcoin is likely to do. It's important to pay attention to what Bitcoin's likely to do, but for all intents and purposes, if you've been following my analyses, you'll understand that Bitcoin is in a corrective holding pattern and is looking to drop very soon. But in the meantime, altcoins are actually making major moves. So this is why I said in the beginning of the video, this is more so an altcoin update than a Bitcoin update. That being said, we're still going to go into this Bitcoin kind of recap. And just like we said in the previous video, Bitcoin is in a corrective pattern, okay? And you should be able to recognize this, okay? Highly probable corrective pattern, okay? 3 waves down, A wave. 3 waves down, B wave. 3 waves down, A wave. 3 waves up, B wave. Another A wave, another B wave. One should be able to recognize the 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. That's your first degree of AB basing. That's your second degree of AB basing. This should be your third degree of AB basing. Okay, so basically 3 pairs of flat corrections, and that should take you in and around 44, 45K, right? And it's just going to go up and down correctively like this until it loses steam, and then it's going to correct. The initial target for this correction right here is 38K. Why is it 38K? Well, 38,000 is where we took some time. I think it was 12 days. Let's just measure really quickly. So yeah, we took about, no, rather 22 days, right, to break this resistance to the upside. So high time frame resistances have to be retested as support, okay? Even if you don't continue, they're high time frame resistances. So very likely, because this was resistance on the way up, it's going to be support on the way down. If Bitcoin breaks down, it's going to find support more likely than not on this plane, on this line of support around 38K, 39K, thereabouts, right? And that's going to be your initial break of structure in the larger sense, right? Then you're going to get another B wave and then a pivot, and then you go down properly to the 31, 32K range. But that being said, this whole thing, this entire large correction of Bitcoin from 44, 45K all the way down to 31, 32K should take around the same time it took to come up, which is around 50 days. So we want to keep an eye on Bitcoin to see what major moves are happening, because as always, as Bitcoin goes, the rest of the market goes. So if Bitcoin's kind of hovering, correcting a little bit here, a little bit there, it gives latitude, it gives space for altcoins to move. And this is exactly what we want to see in the market for our alt season, okay? Remember, alt season is when altcoins are gaining against Bitcoin in market cap, right? So you get Bitcoin dominance coming down, which is exactly what you're seeing now. Expect this trend to continue up and until the next significant target for altcoins. Okay, so that is the update for altcoins, right? Be very mindful of this target right here, the $1 trillion target. And we've talked about this ad nauseum on this channel. We've been looking at this total 2 chart. If you don't know, if you're new, welcome to the channel. We're right now looking at the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, which is another name for that is the total 2. It basically is all the altcoins, all the non-Bitcoin assets in crypto, all amalgamated into one chart. Okay, and it's very helpful to look at this chart because it gives us an idea of what altcoins are doing in general. So you see 525 days of accumulation breaking out. This is what I was talking about last video. We're experiencing a breakout. So this is not like gonna come back down because this is clearing this level, okay? And so the next significant resistance is this $1 trillion resistance, which is the phi ratio of the preceding drop. So if you take your Fibonacci retracement tool from the orthodox top to the orthodox bottom, you can see the $1 trillion mark is right at the 0.618. The 0.618 is not only mathematically significant, but in technical analysis, it typically serves as resistance when you're below it, support when you're above it. And so the next resistance level is likely going to be at that $1 trillion mark. The other reason we think so is because you can see this as a quintessential cup and handle pattern, or you can draw it either like this, or you can look at this as some sort of bullish reversal pattern, inverse head and shoulder. It doesn't really matter. It's a bullish reversal pattern. You take the height of this pattern, superimpose it from the site of breakout, you still get your $1 trillion mark. So I have an alarm set at this $1 trillion mark for altcoins, and generally speaking, once we hit this right here, you may want to take profit, because what's likely to happen, remember, high time frame resistances broken have to be retested as support. Don't be surprised if we get this retest all the way back down, right, even below where we started, right, in altcoins, because this has to be retested. So you take profit here, you wait until this is retested. I mean, obviously people can short. I wouldn't necessarily short, because remember, these are corrective patterns. So let's say you open your short here, you come back like this and do something like that. Do you see what I mean? It's risky. Take profit, wait until we retrace, retest this 525-day resistance as support, then buy back. Okay? I don't know what the time frame is going to be like, but I'm assuming that time frame is going to be as Bitcoin goes down to 38K, right? 38, 39K, which should be a significant drop from where we're at right now, 44, 45 level, right? That's an 11% drop. As Bitcoin executes that 11% drop, altcoins execute a 35% drop on average. That would be more likely when we want to get back into altcoins, okay? Not necessarily Bitcoin, remember. And this is why it's very important to watch Bitcoin and use Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's time to get back in Bitcoin, because they don't really, they're not following the market carefully, or they're not necessarily really keen in technical analysis. But you don't necessarily want to long Bitcoin for this false rally, although we call it a false rally or a bearish rally, a B wave. What you're likely to see, and we're going to talk about this a lot later, is Bitcoin going up irregularly, right? B waves are irregular. You basically go up in a choppy way. It's hard to trade this because you're likely to get hit on your way up, even though in the aggregate you're going to go back up and hit these levels more likely than not. That's fine. You don't want to trade this necessarily, but this wave up is basically going to be an opportunity for altcoins to hit that next wave to the upside after going up to the $1 trillion mark, coming all the way back down, retesting 525 days of resistance to support, then going up in earnest, right? So this is really, really good for altcoins, right? Not only that, in the immediate short term, let's jump down in the 4-hourly time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. In the immediate short term, you can see we're clearly breaking out. We're clearly very bullish, right? We're clearly basically making higher highs and higher lows in an impulsive pattern. And we have yet to hit a terminal resistance or a significant resistance. So this is likely to continue, okay? That's immediate short term. But also, the really nice and comforting idea is, going back on the daily time frame, once we do hit that daily time frame, take profit, or $1 trillion mark rather, take profit, and then retrace down correctively to that 525-day resistance turn now support. We can expect that to happen relatively quickly for two reasons. One, we can clearly see what Bitcoin's doing and that its corrective pattern in this initial break of structure A wave is almost complete. How do we know that? Well, once again, you dive down just like we did in the beginning of this analysis. You look and you count corrective patterns, and it's likely with a high degree of probability that this is initial break, right? 1. So this is the first pair of AB basing. You're right now experiencing the second pair of AB basing, and you're likely to get the third pair. The other reason, so the second reason why it's likely to happen soon, this big drop to 38, is because Tuesday is the next full moon, the next new moon, right? Tuesday the 12th, right? Today's the 9th. Tuesday the 12th is the next new moon, and new moons represent local market tops in financial markets. Typically 0 to 3 days after a new moon, you're likely to get a local market top. If that's the case, then at some point next week, early next week, we can expect that to occur, and then a drop to occur. Usually right on or after a new moon, you get a drop because that represented a local market top. You get that drop, then things start to move. Again, remember, it is, when we're looking at these total crypto market cap charts, it's a generalization, and I'm going to give you a reason why you don't want to look just at that and not at your individual assets. You want to pay attention to your individual assets. Very important, because here's a good example. Cardano, this is a high cap altcoin, and it is doing exactly what we expect, right? So look at Cardano. It is ahead, right? As it broke out, most assets are around here or here, okay? Cardano's already broken out, hit the next significant resistance, and you can see why it's significant resistance if you look at this chart. Look at this right here. You see that dotted line? I put this a long time ago. I just didn't extend it out enough. But you can see why this is a significant resistance, right? Whoops. Let's stop that. Okay. So you can see why this is a significant resistance, because this was the support of the previous distributive channel or distributive pattern, broke down from that, and now we're meeting it again. Okay, so basically this line, this dotted line that you see in Cardano, is a 1,000-day resistance. Okay, it was support, lost it, now we're retesting 1,000 days of support as resistance, right? Or you could also say that it's simply a 400-day support level turn resistance. Now you're retesting that. You're likely to see some sort of reaction where you come back and retrace based on the fact that you hit that resistance. Do you see what I mean? So Cardano is ahead. it's doing what everything is expected to do, but it's done it a few days earlier. So you don't always want to say, oh, I'm going to wait for this total crypto market cap chart to show me. Just mind your individual assets and just understand generally what's likely to happen based off of that. Guys, that's all I have. Hope this was helpful. If this was useful, like, share, subscribe if you got value, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
The thing they call divine, when all the stars will smile for me, when all is well and will is all for all and forever after. But maybe in the meantime, wait and see. We love the